On this episode of Curtain Call, we visit Shelburne, Nova Scotia to uncover the past, present, and future of the Osprey Arts Centre. Back in the 2000s, my very first experience ever with a theater was here at the Osprey Arts Centre. I was a student and there was a volunteer program to work on various places within the community. And because I was interested in the arts, I chose here. The event was Bruce Guthrow, a local legend in the music industry, and he was performing here live. My job was the lighting, kind of. Lighting was already set. All I had to do was push a button up and down, bring it down when the performance was about to start, put it back up when the performance was over. Easy, can't mess this up. I messed it up because the second that Bruce Guthrow walked off stage and prior to his encore, I turned the house lights on early. But despite that flub, being here, seeing the excitement backstage, seeing what it takes to make a live event happen was one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. And for me personally, it helped me focus the trajectory of my own career as an artist. So today I'm very happy to share a little bit of the history as well as a look backstage here at the Osprey Arts Centre in Shelburne, Nova Scotia. Located on the beautiful and historic Shelburne waterfront, the Osprey Arts Centre, sharing its space with the adjacent yacht club, stands tall and proud as Shelburne's key art venue. Although its history may be short compared to most theaters in the province, the Osprey Arts Centre has already created a rich history for art and artists alike. Today, the venue is led by Executive Director Maria Himmelman, who hopes to continue and expand that legacy.
I do the day-to-day running the theater, getting ready for shows, and programming all of the shows that come here. I started in this role about 2 years ago. I have been involved in the Osprey for most of my life, though, through performance and also being here as a summer student through university.
I'm the vice chairman of the board. Being backup for the chairman is an important part of it. I'm also serving in a sense, working closely with the executive director because I'm retired and have time is what it boils down to. Everybody's doing their part. I'm just trying to give support where I can. Probably about 8 years ago, my wife and I were seasonal residents then, and I was asked to be on the board and accepted. Then we moved here permanently, and after a year or so, I became chairman of the board, and I was chairman for 2 years through COVID, then was off for a year, and now I'm back as vice chairman.
While being an art center that hosts a wide array of art mediums, it was a film production shooting in town that sparked the beginning of the Osprey's life.
The Osprey opened in 2003. This is originally a shipbuilding warehouse. When the Scarlet Letter came here in 1995, I believe, they used this building and started doing some renovations in here to use it for the movie. When the movie left, a group of volunteers from the community decided that they wanted to create the yacht club and the Osprey. They worked with the town and got a lot of grants. In 2003, they opened, and over the last 20 years, we've been steadily making renovations and changes to create the Osprey that we know today. I think the original hope and goal was to bring different culture to Shelburne. As a small town in Nova Scotia, You don't always get a chance to get out and see other places and see other things, so this was a way to bring it to us. Specifically over the last about 5 years, it's been a rough time for the Osprey. In 2019, there was a fire in the Marina kitchen that shut us down for about a year. We did a lot of renovations, smoke damage and everything, and we're able to come back in February 2020, just in time for COVID.
There had been a fire in the yacht club, which is we share the building with, and we had been closed for a number of months. We were then open for about 3 weeks, and then the pandemic hit. So, with that said, we were an art center that couldn't come in the building for quite a long time. I think in the time I was chairman, which was 2 years, I think the building was open maybe 4 weeks in that entire period. Now, there was some creative programming. We did some online concerts where people, made contributions. The biggest thing we did is when we could start getting people together outdoors, we did a series of concerts there where people brought their own lawn chairs, and we did it outside. There's a lovely facility owned by the town called the Guild Hall, which is about 3 blocks up that way. And we use that for outdoors. Then as soon as we could get back in the building safely, we started using the building again.
And when we were able to come back into the theater, people were thrilled to be able to be back and started bringing their friends back and making sure that we were able to continue going on and doing what we do. There's a lot of happiness. I feel that you see people coming in and they haven't seen people in the audience for a long time. And so this is sometimes a place that they run into each other because they don't go out as much as they used to. And so that's always really nice to see.
It's really been very good. We've had a really broad range of performances, going from opera to flamenco to singer-songwriter to folk, rock and roll. I mean, we've had some, does anybody say rock and roll anymore? Let's say rock. We've had a pretty wide variety of events, and they've been well received. We weren't sure, like everybody else, are people going to come out when this thing is ameliorated? That means the pandemic. But people did. There have been some people that were very hesitant, some others who were not. We're like any other theater venue, I think, in Canada, really, that had to live through that. But we're very small. And for us, a crowd in a small town is a far different ballgame than, let's say, a crowd in Halifax or Calgary. So it's worked out it's worked out well. It has been a challenging time. There is no doubt about that.
There's a lot of love for the Osprey here in the community.
The Osprey Arts Centre currently stands tall as an ever-active staple of Shelburne's growing art culture. And while the current interior looks ready to go on a moment's notice, the earliest performances at the venue had a little less to work with inside, including a key component missing above.
I believe from talking to other people that it was just kind of a kitchen party. Some local musicians got together. I've talked to the sound tech a lot, and he's been here since the beginning. He tells it's one of his favorite stories where he came in. There was no ceiling. This was just one big room. There was no power, no equipment, no lights, and everyone just got together, set up a little stage in the corner, and had a good time.
Despite the ceilingless origins, the Osprey now homes everything needed for a great experience as both an artist and audience member. As an audience member, your first stop will be the lobby, home to the box office, a bar for all your refreshment needs, as well as a gorgeous mosaic mural at the end of the hall, showcasing those who have helped support the Osprey Arts Centre's ongoing success. Along with a piano ready to be played by guests of the venue, the walls of the lobby are also covered with art from local artists, all of which are available to purchase for those looking to own a piece of Shelburne's artistic history. Near the box office, you'll be able to see posters for upcoming events. As well as a plaque representing the numerous sponsors and supporters of the Osprey. Now that you're ready for the show, you'll head through the set of swinging doors to reveal the stunning theater room, equipped with adjustable stage space and seating for any type of performance. Along with the table-style seating, the Osprey also has the ability for bleacher seats when performances require a different setup. Along with music, dance, and theater, the venue also has a large screen and projector system to allow for films and more to be shown on the big screen. Above, the balcony has even more seats ready for patrons looking for a different view of the shows. Just above the seating is the tech booth, equipped with sound, lighting, and projection equipment hidden away from the audience. Backstage, spaces for storage and more sit available for the venue's needs. As well, direct access to the stairway leading to the green rooms above. Located on the second floor, the green room stays neat, quiet, and comfortable for performers prepping for the big show. Then, as worlds collide, the performer of the night steps out onto the stage, ready to wow all of those sitting in wait.
The easiest thing to do is music. And we do a lot of music because every third Nova Scotian is either a guitar player or a fiddle player. Also, you can have people come in relatively small groups, let's say 1, 2, 3 people. Theater is difficult to get because of the touring requirements. We've had 2 theatrical presentations in the last year, and they've been really, really good. We also sponsor every year what we call our Ancient River Festival. There was a really wonderful songwriter who lived here by the name of Robbie Smith. And he died 3 or 4 years ago. And we decided to have a songwriting festival to honor the craft of songwriting, which he loved so very much. We also do a 2-day workshop for songwriters prior to the festival. That's on the Thursday and Friday. So that's something that has been building, and we're hoping that will become a significant part of the Nova Scotia and Atlantic Canadian songwriting community. Lenny Gallant, who is a friend, and his partner, Patricia Richard, do a fabulous show. We had a Romany jazz group from Montreal that was just unbelievably good. One other that just blew me away, I'll give you two. Gordy McKeeman and the Rhythm Boys is terrific. And we had a flamenco group from Montreal that was astounding, absolutely astounding. The choreography was stunning. They had one guitar player who got the best sound out of a guitar I've heard in a very long time. We've had a broad reach throughout Atlantic Canada. And that's been purposeful, not to slight Nova Scotia in any way, which has this wonderful bedrock of musicians and musicianship. We're trying to do things that otherwise the community would not have access. If you want to drive 2.5 hours, you can see pretty much anybody in Halifax. We want to bring those people here, and we want to have other artists who are from the other parts of Atlantic Canada who are able to come here.
In spite of its relatively short history, the town of Shelburne and surrounding areas have been incredibly receptive to the Osprey Arts Centre and have shared their hopes for the future to those running the building.
I think it's been very good. We've been around now for 20 years, and it has been successful. It is always difficult to do, and part of that is recognizing what we have and what we don't have. What we have is a lovely theater. What we don't have is more than 155 seats. And that, by definition, puts a limit on things. So people in the community will ask for things that simply are unaffordable. You'd have to charge $200 a seat, which in Shelburne isn't going to go well. One of the issues that we've had is incorporating both the newer residents to Shelburne and the people that have been here all their lives. That is something that we work at all the time. There's a perception among some that an art center is by definition elitist. We have worked pretty hard to change that attitude, and we've been really quite successful. We've had a couple of dances that were really successful and brought in lots of people, many of whom who had never walked through the door of this, even though they'd lived in Shelburne their whole lives. So that's changing, and we're working hard to do that. This is a community arts center. It should be the center for arts in Shelburne County, and that's what we're trying to make happen.
I started out here performing classical piano, and it was a nice, intimate space where it wasn't too big of a crowd, but you still felt, as a teenager that you're performing, you're doing a big thing. And then when I came back during university as a student working here, I realized that I love the arts, but I prefer to be someone who can make sure that people have a space to perform, people have a space to come and see the art. Maybe not necessarily in front of everyone, but I like the background. My goal since I've been here has been to try and bring as diverse a program as possible. Again, just so that there's some people that growing up here, that they don't always get a chance to go out and travel. So this is a way to try and bring that to them. I try to make sure that the Osprey is as welcoming as it could possibly be to everyone. So I just hope that they feel, everyone that comes enjoys themselves and has a good time and feels comfortable and wants to be able to, whether sometimes performers maybe want to come back to see another show, or I have a lot of performers that come back and say, we love the space, we'd love to come back. The audience is great.
If there wasn't support for the arts in Canada, and you could certainly see this with the introduction of the Canadian content laws, the possibility of Canadian culture being overwhelmed by that south of the border is very real. In the same way, by having an art center here that's of the community, for the community, it makes things that would otherwise be out of reach possible. So it would be very simple to say, oh, well, you can see anything in Halifax, so why bother? That's a huge difference for a number of reasons. One is we can do things with local people, which is, I think, can be very exciting. But more importantly, not everybody can take, the 5-hour round trip to go see a concert. So we're able to do things that bring it home. We can show movies that have never been shown to people on a big screen. Last Christmas time, we showed It's a Wonderful Life, and we showed it on a big screen. Most people had only seen it on television. So it's important. Arts are important.
I think it's positive. It's continuing to grow. There's lots of opportunities to bring more people here, whether that's new performances or old, not new to us performances, and some of the old favorites. Continuing to grow.
Of necessity, I think people that are younger will and have, in many cases, taken over some of the leadership positions. Our chairman is under 30. Our executive director is also under 30. And this is pretty wonderful. If the only thing that we do is appeal to people of my age, the future does not look bright, because people of my age will soon be former people of my age. I think that's really what it is. How do you move the Art Center forward while retaining continuity, but also at the same time going forward, not backward and not standing still? And that's going to take different voices. The best thing we can do is provide a wide range of arts, and the way you find out whether it's successful is if people come. You can do all the surveys in the world, but what we really have to do is look at what works, and diversity works.
The Osprey Arts Centre sits as the ongoing hub of art in Shelburne County, ready to celebrate history while also jumping headfirst into the future. This beloved venue continues serving a variety of art and culture in the hopes of opening the minds of all those who visit the theater. In the area, maybe your next favorite is getting ready to take the stage and blow the now sturdy roof off of Shelburne's own Osprey Arts Centre. In the introduction to this episode, I mentioned that back in my high school days, I had a job as a volunteer at the Osprey Arts Centre, and that job was for Bruce Guthrow, a local musician here in Nova Scotia. Fortunately, during the filming of the season of Curtain Call, Bruce Guthrow passed away. And I just wanted to say at the end of this episode for the Osprey Arts Centre, just how important Bruce Guthrow was to this entire show, let alone my own career, kind of as an artist. That night, working with him behind the scenes and getting that warmth and that just like general feeling of him just making you feel like you're part of the team, even though he had never met me before in my life. That gave me that motivation to kind of look further into the live event sphere. But over a decade and a half later, it also kind of inspired this show. So I just wanted to quickly say thank you, Bruce Guthrow, for your music, your talent, your warmth, and everything else. This episode is very personal to me because it is in my hometown, but now it has an even bigger connection because this was the start of my love of theaters, performance halls, and everything under that kind of roof. So thank you, Bruce. You will be sorely missed, and this episode is dedicated to you. Thank you.